What does Santa do when he enters a fashion competition? He slays. Welcome to the third day of Christmas and Christmas Crunchtime, third episode. Thanks for listening, watching again. Today I want to talk about perfectionism in the spiritual life. So often I've seen this with guys more than girls, but I know more guys, so who knows. We become perfectionists in the spiritual life. Like, God will be working through us. We'll be virtuous. We'll be doing good things. We'll be having great prayer lives. Better than we've ever had before. And we'll ignore all of that and look at our little imperfections and beat ourselves up for it and hate ourselves for it. And we'll say, and so this is how the devil uses this. Right? Sin is bad. But once we sin, or we mess up, or we're not perfect, Satan says, look, like, if you're not perfect, God doesn't love you. Right? Like, you're addicted to pornography. And so Satan's like, well, until you get over pornography, God doesn't love you. You're not worth anything. And you get over it, he's like, well, you're still lazy, so still not worth anything to God. And he does that over and over and over. If you're not perfect, you're not loved. You're not lovable. And that's a huge lie. And Satan gets, like, that's like a deep level. Like, when you're deep in your faith, that's how Satan tries to tempt people. Is that perfectionism, that if we're not perfect, we're not enough. And oftentimes we'll hold on to it like it's a good thing. Like, me beating myself up, like, look at me. Like, it's just like when the Satan's like self-flagellated, like, look, like, if no one's beating me up, then like, if I'm not beating myself, then no one's beating myself up. And like, someone needs to beat me because I'm so horrible, right? I hate myself. Like, that's how it works. And that's wrong. Instead of praying to God and saying, God, make me a better person, we should say, God, I want you to be more present in me. Because the goal of our spiritual life is not to do good works. It's to become more united with Christ. And as a result of that, good works happen, and they're great. But that's not the first thing. The first thing is growing closer to Christ so much that he becomes you. And then you do great things. Then you become virtuous, and then this. But the most important part is the relationship. Focus on that. And in that relationship, you find that no matter what you do, God loves you. So yeah, the way that you combat this perfectionism is gratitude. Why? Because we overlook all the work that God's done with us in our perfectionism, but in gratitude, we look at what we've done. Right? It's great at night during your exam to look at the ways that you failed, but you know what's also great? To look at the ways that you did good. And thank God for how he acted through you, because it is by his grace that you did the good. It's good. It's good to acknowledge how God's been working in your life. And it's okay to be weak. The more you acknowledge your weakness, the closer God draws to you. It's good. It's good to be weak. It's good to be vulnerable. Give yourself to God and thank him for how he acts through you, and don't be afraid to acknowledge it. Because it's a dishonor and disrespect to God to pretend like he doesn't work in your life. Your faith is not a pull up by your bootstraps experience. It's let God pull you experience. So grow closer to him. Be grateful. Don't be a spiritual perfectionist. And Merry Christmas.